Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the Housewives Tarot. Okay, so I'm going to draw 3 cards. Each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. And the whole idea behind doing this reading is so we can get kind of a general overview of the week ahead and what we can expect in terms of opportunities and what to look out for. Okay, so the first card represents Monday and Tuesday. Aha, here we have the Hierophant. Now, I love how this deck has portrayed the Hierophant. So in other decks, you'll see kind of a stuffy old man or like a pope or a priest or something like that. And in the Housewives Tarot, there is I want to say it's a television set. Yeah, it's a television set. I couldn't tell if it's a television or a radio. And basically what the Hierophant has to do with is an authority figure telling you what to do. Now, sometimes this isn't a bad thing, like in terms of like when you sign up for a class and you take a course from a teacher, you're learning from someone who is an authority on a particular subject and you're learning from their wisdom and their expertise. But then there's kind of the other kind of authority where someone is bossing you around and telling you what to do, which isn't bad if that person knows what they're talking about, but the bad part comes in where you aren't really relying on yourself as your own authority. You're not making decisions on your own and growing as a person. You're putting your trust and your faith and your power in someone else to make decisions for you. And I love how they've portrayed this as a television set, and I think it could also be portrayed as like a laptop or a cell phone or something like that. And I feel like this is almost like, where are we, what things in our life are we giving power to? What are we considering the authority? You know, what are the authority figures in your life right now? Like, what kinds of things do you put your trust and faith in? And what do you allow to have the most power and effect over your life and the decisions you make and the emotions that you feel? So those are just some interesting questions to ask yourself at the beginning of the week, because this card indicates that you're losing a lot of your power. You're giving your power away and you're not relying on yourself to make decisions as much. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, the middle of the week, we have 8 of Swords. And 8 of Swords, again, it's kind of similar to the Hierophant in that it's about not recognizing your own power. So the 8 of Swords will come up when we, again, are giving our power away, when we aren't recognizing that we are capable people who are who have the ability to do so much and to create change and to take action and to do things and to figure things out. And oftentimes we're waiting, and this might be something you do subconsciously without really being aware of it, but we're waiting for someone or something to come rescue us, to swoop in and save the day. And this card is saying that, you know, only you can rescue you. It's not up to someone else or some higher authority. And I think it's interesting it's come right after the Hierophant, because I think that when we don't recognize ourselves as being powerful individuals, if we don't recognize our own power and our own ability to create change and make decisions and all that good stuff, if we don't recognize that within ourselves, we think of ourselves as being somewhat powerless and weak, and we will put our power, or we'll give our power away to outside authorities, and we'll also place heavy amounts of expectation on those outside authorities, whether that be the government, someone that you're in a relationship with, or I don't know, society in general, you know, and we'll expect whatever it is that we give our power away to, we expect that thing to deliver and to solve all our problems for us. And when that thing doesn't pull through, we become bitter and angry. So again, I think that the message is clear that this week is really about coming home to ourselves and taking responsibility for things and taking responsibility for our own lives and deciding, you know, what actions we want to take moving forward. What changes do we want to create? What things do we want to create in our life? What is important to us? And then, oh, interesting. This is such a serious reading. Okay, so here we've got the Five of Swords. This is the card for the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Five of Swords is one of those cards in the tarot that I really struggle with. I think every reader has at least a couple cards in the deck that they really have a hard time with. Five of Swords for me is the one, whenever it shows up, I'm always like, oh God, not this card, because I always kind of scratch my head to try to figure out what it means. Okay, so I'm just going to look at this card closely here. Oftentimes, the Five of Swords is a somewhat negative card, and it shows, like, I'm just trying to think of the Rider-Waite version, where it's almost like someone, it's not so much competition, but it's like someone's deceiving someone's kind of cheating. I don't really get that vibe from this particular version of the Five of Swords. I feel like this is about, I mean, it shows like a pattern for a dress and a bunch of scissors and thread. And it's almost like you're trying to create something, but there are too many cooks in the kitchen. There are too many, there's too many competing ideas. So what I'm getting from this card is that if you're feeling stuck in some way, and the Eight of Swords is all about feeling stuck, if you're feeling stuck in some way, and if you're wanting to move forward and you're wanting to create something and to create changes, but you're feeling stuck, it's probably because you have different conflicting values and ideas. So part of you wants one thing, but there's another part of you that you may not be totally aware of that wants something very different. And this can create a lack of movement. So your task this week, in order to move forward and to create the kinds of positive things and changes that you're wanting to make, it's going to be really important for you to get to know yourself, to dive deep and be really honest with yourself about what kinds of things you want, and acknowledge that you probably don't want those things with your whole being. There's a part of you that's saying no. And that could be, that part of you could be saying no out of fear. It could be out because that part of you wants something different, but it's really up to you to figure out, you know, what all the different aspects of yourself are wanting. And once you get that understanding and that cohesiveness, then you have a better chance at moving forward and creating real change for yourself. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick look at all three cards together and see if there's anything else that stands out to me. It just feels like this week, all these cards kind of have a similar theme, and it feels like this week is really about recognizing how you give your power away. And you can really discover that. You can pinpoint how you're doing this by noticing in what areas of life do you feel bitter and resentful. You know, where do you feel pissed off? All of those are indications of where you actually feel powerless. And oftentimes you might feel powerless about that particular thing or about that particular area of your life because you've given your power away. You've placed some expectation on someone to do something for you and they haven't pulled through. So that can be a really interesting thing to focus on at the beginning of the week, and it's what's going to help you set yourself free. Okay, I have to wrap things up. My camera's going to die in a minute. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and best of luck this week.